Hey guys, so I'm back with another video, first video of the year. So I've been messing around with Python for a while, and I did a little script that I actually wanted to show you guys. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that today. So before you use Python, we're gonna be using Visual Studio, but you can also use PyCharm, which is another application that's made specifically for Python development. But before that, you need to go to the Python website, go to downloads, and then get their latest build, the 3.1 or 3.12.1. At the time of this video, this will be the current version. You just download and install that. This one's for Windows, and the script we're going to be using is mostly going to be for Windows-based systems. So yeah. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be making a download sorter. So this is like dipping our toes into automation in a sense. We're going to make a script that it's going to take all of the files in our download folder or any folder that we put our downloads in, and it's going to check the extension for every file, and it's going to sort them and then put them in their own folders. So inside this folder, I've already got a test folder that just has a bunch of random files that I added in. So I'm just going to close that, and then we're going to open it with Visual Studio Code. Here it is. Another thing you'll need, so a quick shortcut for if you need to use the terminal, just press Control, and if you're using a QWERTY keyboard, underneath the escape button, there'll be this weird wavy um, line button. It's called a tilde or tilde. You just need to press Control and then that button, and it'll open your terminal. Now we need to install a Python package, and to do that, you just say pip install, and then we're gonna install PyInstaller. PyInstaller is just gonna turn our script into an executable. So then you just press enter, and then you just need to wait for that to download. So while we wait for that to finish, we're just gonna click this part, and then we're gonna create a folder. So we'll say download sorter.py. That's our extension for Python. And another thing as well, go to your extension marketplace and get and just installed, and then Python. Okay, so you should get the Python IntelliSense from the marketplace, the environment manager, Python extended, and the Python extension pack. And then you can just get these extra stuff if you want, like the snippets and the indents. Okay, so back to our sorter. So we're gonna just list out our objectives. So when you do a comments in Python, you use a hash. And then our objective would be sort your downloaded content into appropriate folders. Okay. So our goals. So goal one would be, well, okay, I already got my goals made, so I'm just gonna copy paste. So our first goal is to create a directory, create a function. If the directory exists, then it will ignore that. This basically means that we're going to create a function that's going to create the folders that we need. But the next time we run the executable, it's going to check to see if those folders exist already. And if they do, the function will ignore all those folders and then it will proceed to the next step. The next thing we have is read all the files in a directory and place them in appropriate directories. So we're going to create that function. And then it just says create a directory for pictures, audio, documents, and archives. That's what we're doing today, but you can add more. I have directories assorted by creation date, which is optional, but I'm going to leave that up to you guys. So when working with Python, we have these things called imports, where we import like packages that we're going to use. So since we're going to be working with file management, the two imports we'll need import OS and then import shuttle or shuttle, however you want to pronounce it. These two things will allow us to do file management. So this one works with our parts and stuff like that, making our directories, and then this one would allow us to manipulate the contents of that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our directories function. So we'll say directories function. Now, on this channel, since we've worked with Java and C#, Python is a bit different in the sense that it's dynamic, if I'm saying it correctly, meaning that it knows what you're trying to do as long as you sort of make it sense. Like, if I say A is equal to 1, okay, I don't need this semicolon. It's just a force of habit, but you don't need it. Because I said A is equal to 1, Python already knows that I'm saying A is an integer. Or if I say A is equal to, and then Bill, now Python would know, oh, okay, you're saying A is a string. So it's a bit easier to understand, I see some people use it as a first language, even though I would rather most people go OOP languages just so you have a more clearer grasp. So one thing that we do to make a function in Python, we say def, that's short for define, and then we name our function. So I'll say dir create, so that's directory create, and then we do 2 brackets, and then a colon. Now in Python, your indentations are pretty important. So see right now, this is my indents, anything I put here. So if I put if, I don't know, A is equal to 2, and then I do print 2. Then see where this line is? That's where my, that's where the code would run basically. So if, let's say I had I copied this if statement, and I did this. This would be wrong because now I've got an if statement, a print, if, print, and then I got indentations jumbled up. Only way for me to fix that is if I take this indentation of if, backspace it a bit, and then now it works, no errors. So your indentation is important. You don't, it helps to just imagine the squiggly brackets that you'd use in Java and C# to be there. But it's just one thing people liked about Python is that if you know what you're doing, you can get straight to the points, So we are going to just use if statements. So to check the directory. So we're going to say if statements to check the directory. Okay, so we're going to say, now if statements are a bit different in Python, just like other languages, but you will get the hang of it. So I'll just show you how different it is. I would say if, and then instead of doing this like I would normally do in C# or Java, I say if not. And then now we're gonna use this thing in Python in our Python import OS called path. What it's gonna do is it's gonna check our current, like this current path that we're gonna look for. Cause okay, let me just delete this. We have this thing called, if I do OS dot and then get CWD, and then I'm going to just assign this to something. I'll just say A is equal to that. Then I'm going to say print A. The get CWD function, it basically means get our current directory, so the one that we're working with now. So if I run this, and to run a Python file, just say Python and then the name of what you're working with, so download sorter.py. Okay. Press enter, and then if you can see here, here's my current directory. So that's basically dipping our toes into our OS import. So just gonna go back to everything we've done. So if the OS dot, and then we're going to use this function called path, so the path that we want. So if the OS path dot exists, and then and then we're gonna do the pictures directory. So we're gonna do 2 commas, so a commas, 2 quotes, sorry, dot backslash pictures. If this does not exist, then we'll do OS dot. And if you've had experience of Linux before, or probably had Linux before, I don't know about PowerShell, but Linux, you would have learned how to make directories and stuff. I could make, if you want, I will make a quick video on directory basics of Linux, if you wanted to, but this is just for the sake of this video. We're going to do a little bit of directory stuff. So we'll say mkdir. That is short for make directory, and a directory is basically our file path, like the name of our path. So I'd say, okay, make directory, and we'll call it pictures. So now this script is saying, this line of code is saying, if not OS.path exists. So if this path doesn't exist, then create this path. So then that means that when we run this script again, after we sort out everything, it's going to check to see, okay, does pictures not exist? But it finds that, oh, it does, and it just leaves it alone. So then, to make this easy, just going to copy and paste. So we're going to do this for the kind of file types we want. So we said pictures, audio, documents, and archives. Let's also do videos. And then we're just gonna say elif. That's just our else if. Elif, not elif. 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 Okay, and then we're going to change this. So our next one will be videos. Videos, and then audio, then we got our documents. Like I'm saying, this is mostly just for Windows-based stuff. There is this other thing called os.paths.joins, and that's something that you'd use if we want to make this download sort to work on any operating system, regardless of the different file directories they might have. I'll do that in a future video. Just now, I just want to do something simple, And if you want me to do another video though, on just the very basics of Python, then I will make one. Just say so in the comments, because I'm making this video in the sense that if you follow my channel for a while, I kind of feel that you already have a good firm grasp of coding experience at this point to see the similarities of different languages. Okay, so we got documents, and then our last one, so we don't need this. Oops. Really dislike trackpads. Okay. And then archives. Set archives. Okay, that's our first directory. First function, sorry. Now our next function is gonna read through our folder and then check to see if it will read through our all the stuff in our folder, look at the extensions, and then send them to the appropriate directory that we want. So we're gonna make another one directory, and we're gonna say hash, and then this one will check files, file type in directory and places them in appropriate, correct folder. Okay. And we're gonna say this is def file sort. And then we're gonna use the for loop. So the for loop is just gonna loop through a whole folder and then check to see if everything outside of that folder. It's gonna check all of the extensions. So like, okay, let me So like this has an extension of .mp3, or this one's got an extension of .png. It's gonna check outside of that folder and then check all the extensions that they have, and then it's gonna put them in the appropriate folders. But we're only gonna be doing it from the outside, because I feel like it's needed. There is this other thing that we have. It's called os.walk, and what that means is that not only will it check everything outside the folders, it will also check everything inside the folders. So it will basically sort everything. So if, let's say, I had these directories within this test folder, right, and I've already got stuff in, but I've also got some stuff in these folders that shouldn't be there, like they're wrong or something. So then what it's gonna do, it's gonna check every single folder, and then it's gonna take all of that stuff and then put them in the appropriate folder. I didn't want to do this because an issue is, let's say you did put this in your actual download folder, but then let's say you downloaded like uh a folder from like GitHub or something, right? But then that GitHub project has some stuff in it that's important to like the whole um like build to get it to work. But because you use your download folder sort of OS works, it might have taken, let's say, an archive, so an R file or zip file. It might have taken something that was important from there and then just put it in your archives folder, and it just breaks the build. That's why I didn't want to do os.walk. So we're gonna say 4, and then we'll just say x. You can xb. It doesn't matter what you say. 4x in os dot and a list directory. See, this is another thing where having a bit of Linux knowledge would help. So then, in our list of directories, it's gonna do a for loop to check everything, and then we're gonna say if x, and then we have this thing called ends with. Ends with what we're going to use that to check our extension. So if x ends with, and then we're going to do a text file first. So dot txt for a text file. Or, and then got to be lazy, I'm just going to copy this. Or ends with PDF. Or it ends with docx, which is the extension for Microsoft Word. I'm just going for common extension types. You can add more when you do your old one. And also, I'll have a link to this in my the GitHub for this in the description. So we're gonna do that, and then we'll say, now this is where we use shuttle, and shuttle is what we're going to use for our folder manipulation. So we'll say shuttle dot move, and then x, so move x. So if x ends with this, and then so we basically grab that extension. So if x ends with txt, then move that txt file, move it to, and then we're gonna say, okay, where do we want to move it to? So we're gonna do 2 little quotes, dots, and then we'll say documents. If you don't know this, when you say well, that sounded weird. When you say dots slash, you're basically saying the root. So you're basically saying this folder that I'm currently in. It's just a little tidbit. Okay, so if x dot ends with dot txt, or ends with dot pdf, or ends with dot docx, then move any of these file types to our documents folder. And then we're just gonna copy this, put it down here, paste. Don't forget to pause if I'm going too fast, and don't forget to drink water. That's very important. Okay. Elif. Now this one, we're gonna do pictures, so we're just gonna say, so what kind of pictures do we have? We've got PNG. We've got JPG, and you know what? We're gonna use GIFs too. We're gonna have pictures. Okay, and then audio, we'll just do MP3, and then WAV files. Or if you're that kind of person, there's also FLAC. You know, if you're an audiophile like me. And then this will be in our audio folder. Okay. Our next one, okay, we've done pictures, documents, audio, okay, videos. So the next one, MP4, AVI, there's also MKV. Those are the common ones I know. And then this gets put in videos. And then our last one is archive. So we'll just say RAR or zip. Which means we don't need this. And this. Excuse me. Okay. And you don't need this. And this goes into archives. Okay, now to call these out, we have to say def, and then, well, sorry, not def, sorry. We just have to call them out by saying their name. So our first one was called Diacreate. So Diacreate. And then file sort. Wrong spelling. Okay, I'm going to show you how to. Sorry. I'm going to show you how to do it from your Visual Studio Code, running it from VS Code, and I'm going to show you how to convert this script into an exe file. So for now, we're just going to do the folder creation before we put it into our test folder. So as you can see, we've got test folder and our script. So now, what I'm going to do is press up, I'm going to run this thing. Now, it just created our pictures folder. That's strange. Alright, okay. So a bit of a hiccup here. Instead of elif, we're just gonna abuse if statements. So we're just gonna say if, 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 if. Yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna keep it like that. So we're gonna try this again. So you see, it made our folders archive, audio, documents, pictures, videos. But if I try and run it again, nothing happens. Why? Because the folders already exist. So it's not going to create them again. So I'm just going to delete these. Okay. So like, okay, I'm going to just use an example here. So let's say I'm going to take this song, this picture, and this document. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it here. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this script again. And you see how everything just disappeared. But if I go into the appropriate folders, see audio has that audio file we had. Documents has our cover page, and then picture has pictures. So then I'm just gonna delete these folders. Yep. So to turn it into an executable, we're gonna say py installer and then we're gonna say okay, I've seen some people do this one file method, but I've never got it to work. What it's supposed to do is it's not supposed to create these other folders that PyInstaller normally does. It's just supposed to create the executable that you want. But I've never gotten this to work, but I put it in case. So we're gonna say PyInstaller download sorter dot py. Okay. Then we're gonna wait for that to create an executable out of our script. Okay, well now that that's done, we're gonna find our executable in our dist folder. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just minimize this and then go to our download sorter folder that we made. I'm gonna take this and then copy it. Now, I should add, when you make something like this, you don't normally make executables out of like Python scripts kind of like this. So there is a slight chance that your operating system is going to see the script that you made as a virus and then it will delete it. So you're going to have to go to your security options in Windows and then say allow for this thing. So yeah, okay, so I'm just gonna copy this, Control C. We're gonna go to test folder. Here's all of the random files we have of all the file types we're gonna use. So I'm gonna paste this in here and then gonna look for it. Okay, so here's download sorter. So double click it, have it run. And there you go. So now if I open all of these folders, here are all of my sorted files. Yeah, so we got our .wav files and our .mp3 files in the same place. got our documents in one place, got our pictures in one place, and we even got our videos in one place. And so, yeah, that's how you make a download sorter script. Of course, there's still a lot more you can do with this. I also encourage you to come up with your own ways, like you can do for other file types as well. You can be more specific. You can even do a bit of research on these imports, OS and shuttle, you know. And you can even do other stuff like with just these functions alone. Like let's say you want to make folders for your what school subjects and that. You could just use this alone and make a little function, a little console command where you run the script and it'll ask you, you can use a for loop, and say, okay, how many folders you creating? 5. Okay, it creates 5 folders. And then it's going to ask you for a name for each one of those folders. So then now next time, like if you're still studying and you want to make folders for your modules and that, then you can, it'll be easy. And then you can just use this file sort, to then sort everything else. So in your downloads folder, you can use ends with, or you can use contains. Not contains. I think it's contains. I might be wrong. But you can look that up. Another file, another function that will then look for anything that will fit into what you're looking for. So like say instead of TXT, let's say I'm looking for programming. So it will check all of my folders. It will look for anything that has the word prog in it, and it will sort into my prog folder. Like that's something you can do on your own. So that's why I encourage you guys to learn stuff like this. But yeah, that's the power of Python. So, thanks for watching. Like I said, I'll put a link for this in the description. But yeah, just wanted to show you how you can do stuff with Python. It's very good for automation or, data science and stuff like that. It's actually pretty good. And it's a language I've been messing around with for the past few weeks. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.